you will realize that there is some tension and increasing animosity between some of our leading members, i.e. His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and Honorable Kennedy Ohinleki. You remember what happened during the thank you tour after the defeat? The two gentlemen, leading members of our party, could not rally themselves together and engage on a thank you tour. You have followed the narrative and the discourse during the campaign, and you will notice that there is some considerable amount of tension, and it is our considered view that this does not make for party unity and party discipline, and that we needed a candidate who was in the center, a candidate who does not have any challenges with any other of the candidates. And Dr. Bernard Acheampong represents that candidate, that rallying point in the party that can attract all hands on deck towards victory in 2028. Again, Dr. Bernard Acheampong talks about the need to restore discipline into our party. Some of the narrative on social media, on radio and TV, is quite unbecoming of the NPP that we knew, NPP of old. And Dr. Bernard Acheampong is promising to restore discipline and unity within our rank and file. Dr. Bernard Acheampong has promised to work hand in hand with the delegates, make them relevant, revamp the base, reposition and resource the grassroots, make them involved in the decision-making process, and give them relevance in the body policy of the NPP. That way, we are sure to reignite and re-energize the base so that we can fully participate in the campaigns towards 2028. Again, he promises to govern this country with commitment and dedication. He promises to deliver the goods, and in the process, to make the New Patriotic Party the most attractive party once again within Ghana.
Now, Pius, I'm sure. So, apart from what you're saying, let's just divert a bit into the latest Global Info Analytics report, which was just released this afternoon. Now, the poll shows Dr. Brian Acheampong is expected to get just 6.6% of the votes if elections were conducted. How does the campaign respond to this?
Well, we have been doing our own polling. We have looked at the numbers. We have gone beyond polling and done profiling. And by profiling, I mean that when you speak to the delegates and when the delegates speak amongst themselves, they are able to give you a clearer picture because they speak among themselves. And if you went to my polling station, Santa Barbara polling station in Akosombo today, and spoke to my youth organizer, he will most likely tell you where the chairman of the polling station will vote, where the organizer or secretary will vote. That's how deep our work has gone. And we are sure, we have the evidence, we see it, we hear it from the people that we are expecting a landslide for Dr. Brian Acheampong on the 31st of January. We are also aware of psychological operations being undertaken by persons to hoodwink the delegates and to create an impression. And so you are just talking about a poll. I haven't looked at it. I don't know what their methodology is. I don't know what the sample size is. I don't know who he has spoken to. But any such poll that will suggest that Dr. Brian Acheampong will not win the elections and let alone give him 6% can only be a joke. It can only be a psychological operation that is designed to hoodwink voters into thinking that the tide is in another way. No, we are confident of a victory. We know. We have gone around this country and we have heard from the delegates themselves. We have polled and profiled the voters in this election. And so we are confident. I don't know what poll you're making reference to, but you can speak to the pollster, what their methodology is, what their analytical tools are, what their sample size is, and so on. When you interrogate deeper, you will find out that these are not polls, these are not scientific, they are not professional. psychological operations that have ulterior objectives.
Well, thank you so much, Pius, for that. That's Pius Enam Hajide. He is spokesperson for Dr. Brian Champon's campaign. Moving on to other stories, and 52 newly appointed circuit court judges have been sworn into office. The Chief Justice, Paul Bafoboni, who took them through the oath of office, advised them not to abuse their positions as judicial officers, a conduct that could destroy the public trust in the judicial system.
The new judges are made up of 40 magistrates who have been elevated to the circuit court and 12 lawyers appointed from the bar.
Protect and defend the Constitution of the Republic. So help me God.
40 of the newly sworn-in judges are women and 12 men. The promotion and appointment comes following series of interviews by the judiciary. At the ceremony, the Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bafoboni, advised the new lower court judges to perform their duties with integrity, competence, and independence.
Avoid situations that compromise your impartiality or create perceptions of impropriety. Remember that public trust in the judiciary is real. It is built over time, but can be lost in a moment.
Justice Bafoboni also spoke about the need to keep abreast of latest information technology, which would help them discharge their duties efficiently and effectively. The Chief Justice emphasized that visual power of a judge is not self-derived, but one that is delegated by the people through the Constitution, which must be exercised judiciously and strictly in accordance with the law. Other speakers at the ceremony, including President of the Ghana Bar Association, Efua Gatti, mentioned the need to protect the sanctity of the judiciary by serving with integrity and professionalism. The 52 new judges adds to the 101 number of circuit judges currently serving the various circuit courts across the country.
The motorcycles accidents are now the leading cause of road traffic deaths in the Bono region, according to the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service. In 2024 alone, the region recorded 133 road traffic accidents involving commercial vehicles, private vehicles, and motorbikes. Out of these, motorbikes accounted for 85 crashes and 35 out of the 58 deaths recorded for the year. According to the police, many of these fatalities could have been prevented as a significant number of riders continue to flout Section 16 of the Road Traffic Act 2004, which mandates the use of crash helmets. Some riders, officers say, even carry helmets without wearing them. As enforcement is being stepped up, attention is also turning to education and behavioral change as key tools in addressing this deadly trend. We are joined on the line by Chief Superintendent Alexander Obeng. Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Oh, good afternoon.
Thank you so much for your time. So first, tell us, why do you think that helmet use is still not taken seriously in this country?
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. First of all, the use of motorcycle in every country in contemporary Africa has become very necessary and basic. That in using motorcycle, countries and authorities responsible ensures that sensitization, awareness creation, and enforcement of motorcycle-related safety measures are brought to the front burner. And in Ghana, the use of motorcycle has also become so pronounced that not only in cities, in rural states, among others, motorcycle has become another means of communicating. And it is also emerging. And no wonder even the road law that is coming, amendment has been sought to enhance enforcement of same in order to ensure the majority of persons who board the motorcycle as riders and pillion riders are protected in a manner that safety and protective clothing will be complied with. It is clear that because motorcycle use is also becoming critical and emerging, the current use across the country has become so common. However, the accompanying sensitization, awareness creation, and enforcement as compared to other road user class has been lacking a bit because the current use of it for particularly commercial purpose among others has been as an option for the owners and riders because the necessary safety measures that should accompany the use of it currently is minimal because currently it's supposed to be used to carry goods only and used privately. But majority of Ghanaians have tend to use it against the law for other commercial use in terms of carrying fare paying passengers, which is not being regulated. And that is the gap we see, that there's a need to ensure that we come to that space where users are using it for commercial purpose without safety measures associated with it. And so I'm not surprised that even before the law comes, we are all talking about the fact that government have done well by identifying this problem and is coming up with a measure that will ensure that experienced and well-trained persons will be in charge of motorcycle for the current use so that safety will be enhanced because inexperienced and disqualified persons are currently using them. And it's also the reason why we have this problem.
Chief, so this lack of awareness or knowledge or adherence to the road safety regulations, as in the motorcycles being used for personal use instead of commercial use, is it a lack of education? What exactly is it? Is it that people are not aware of the regulations?
Yes, and I'm saying that the current pronounced use is for the commercial, and there is no safety regulation for using the motorcycle for that purpose. And that is the reason why we are seeing that surge currently. And I'm saying I'm not surprised that the state has taken a decision based on the data we just read that there's a need, for example, to tweak the road traffic law so that it will ensure that moving forward, only persons who are, for example, 21 years and above are those who will be trained by DVLA, among others, and supervised by police officers across to use the motorcycle to carry fare-paying passengers.
All right.
And therefore, first it is clear that inexperience is also leading to why these things are happening.
Okay, Chief.
Yes.
Chief, thank you so much. We'll end the interview here. Thank you for your input. That's Chief Superintendent Alexander Obey. He is Head of Education, Research and Training at the Motor Traffic and Transport Department, MTTD, of the Ghana Police Service. Now, a late-night fire outbreak has destroyed some shops at Atechim in the Upper Dentra East municipality of the Central Region, leaving several traders counting their losses.
The incident occurred at about 11:30 p.m. on Wednesday, 21st January 2026, when fire razed a carpentry shop, a wholesale shop, and an onion shop, completely destroying the structures and their contents. Personnel from the Ghana National Fire Service at Dunkwa Onofin responded promptly to a distress call and managed to contain the blaze after several hours of effort. Speaking to newsmen, the affected shop owners expressed shock over the incident and appealed to the general public for support to help them recover the losses incurred.
Nyama say me fridge ne wardrobe amaye ne machines a me di yedwuma. Na I say it's the same for the wo bi o fam wo.
The Upper Dentra East Municipal Director of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, Lawrence Awanga, advised shop owners to always have fire extinguishers in their shops. Meanwhile, the presiding member of the Upper Dentra East Municipal Assembly, Akwesi Owusu Entry, who also serves as the Atechem Assembly member, commended the National Fire Service and NADMO for their swift response to the incident. He further praised NADMO for its continuous public education on disaster management, particularly on the proper use of fire extinguishers to prevent fire outbreaks in the municipality.
This education for some time now about Padencha Easter. NADMO 4 years, fire service 4 years. So it tells you say if I don't the damage to this property is not the cost of an extinguisher. Clearly the advocacy say fire extinguishers in the stores now. So the town folks should heed to it.
The Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mohamed Mubarak, has cautioned individuals who use the cyberspace to defraud unsuspecting victims to desist from these acts, else they will face the full rigors of the law. He made the remarks during a visit to the prison's postal recruitment screening center at Roman Ridge in Accra.
Upon arrival, the Minister for the Interior was received by the service commanders and other senior officers of the Ghana Prison Service. Alhaji Muntaka inspected the ongoing recruitment exercise, which was at the stage of body selection and documentation. Impressed by the level of organization and professionalism displayed, he commended the service commanders and staff for maintaining high standards in the recruitment process. He noted that the exercise reflected the service's dedication to upholding integrity and discipline in its operations.
For those who think that they can use the cyberspace to create this chaos and deceive innocent applicants, they should be rest assured. We are watching. We are using the PID, we are using the CID, we are using the NIB, we are using the National Signal Bureau. We are putting all apparatus in full gear. We are monitoring the social media. The least we'll see, we'll pick. And the first batch that tried it, we've arrested them. That's why I was cautioning them. If anybody thinks that he can use this system to enrich himself or herself, they should think again. Because every payment is through that system. The system that will pay, the centralized system.
Officials of the prison service walked the media through the various stages of the screening process.
So far, the program is so good. We haven't had any challenge. Applicants come because you know when you are coming. Some are coming in the afternoon, some are coming in the morning. It is straight in your text message. You are given a seat to be seated comfortably. You are served with snacks, water, biscuits, and Miller. And then the officers take them through. First, body selection. You take your height, they look at your vitals. You move to documentation. They look at your document and authenticate each document. When they are satisfied, you move to the data entry. where everything is entered into the computer, and that's the end, and you move away.
The screening center accommodates a maximum of 400 applicants per day, divided into 2 sessions, morning and afternoon, to ensure smooth and efficient processing. The recruitment exercise, which has been ongoing for days, concluded on January 21, 2026.
Accra is gearing up for a fresh start. Greater Accra Regional Minister Madam Linda Oklu has teamed up with MMDCs to launch a major decongestion drive from February 1, 2026. The capital will see a determined push to restore order and boost sanitation. The team says it is time for cleaner, more organized Accra.
At a news conference in Accra, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Madam Linda Oklu, shared the plan to reclaim the city's streets. After months of dialogue with traders and transport operators, the wait is over. February 1, 2026 marks the start of a major decongestion drive. The goal is to give pedestrians and motorists their space back, cut congestion, and make Accra cleaner.
Not only for AME, Korle Klottey is part, and other districts is also part. This time around, Christmas is over, and I believe whatever they bought has been sold. They are not going to use any human face. We'll make sure that they strictly adhere to the red lines, that's all.
Behind the scenes, preparations are underway. AMA Chief Executive, Mr. Michael Kpakpo Alote, spells it out. The city is getting ready to breathe a little easier. The Accra Metropolitan Assembly is teaming up with security and stakeholders to make sure the decongestion drive is smooth, fair, and humane. It's a big task, but they are geared up for the job ahead.
This is the first time that we are having a decongestion, that we have the red line for you to sell behind the line. That shows that we understand their trade. We understand that not everybody can have money to rent a shop. We are building affordable shops that will be ready soon. But as of now, they are not ready with the shops. We are pleading with them. They should observe the red line, and everybody will be happy in Accra. The police are ready, the fire service is ready, immigration is ready, everybody is ready. The whole Accra is ready for this congestion program.
Now, to boost the effectiveness of traditional leadership, government has taken a significant step to support paramount chiefs and queen mothers. On a visit to the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs in Dodowa, local government minister Ahmed Ibrahim said their monthly allowances have gone up by 300%. Chiefs get 3,000 cedis, while queen mothers take home 2,400 cedis. The funds already released to regional houses are set to empower traditional authorities in their vital work.
The president of the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs, Professor Odaifio Wilenchi, is sounding the alarm. Inadequate funding is stalling justice in chieftaincy disputes. With finances tight, the House struggles to adjudicate cases promptly and conduct vital research into stool succession, a key factor in recurring conflicts. Professor Wilenchi is calling for a boost in resources to clear the case backlog and nip future disputes in the bud.
It has always been the wish of members of the House to work assiduously to dispose of pending cases before the House. Funds allocated quarterly for sittings can only organize a maximum of 5 days sitting.
Addressing the concerns, local government minister Ahmed Ibrahim mentioned a funding boost for chieftaincy adjudication. Quarterly allocations jump from 30,000 Ghana cedis to 50,000 Ghana cedis, and this will take effect soon. He also highlighted the John Mahama government's 300% hike in monthly allowances for paramount chiefs and the queen mothers, part of a wider push to empower traditional governance.
The monthly allowances of our paramount chiefs and queen mothers have been increased substantially by the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, by
a robust, credible chieftaincy institution. For GBC News, Yaira Lawe reporting.
An all-female Black American group of over 500 known as Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated living in the United States have been in Cape Coast to learn about their origin, history, and background as Africans. The visit forms part of the International Sisterhood's activities marking the group's 118th anniversary celebration. They believe the visit will not only reorient them as women of African descent, but also shape their thinking and behavior as Africans.
The Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated is said to be the largest African society in the United States of America, with many branches across various states. The Sisterhood International Foundation seeks to empower women through entrepreneurship, partnerships, and other philosophies that make members independent and more responsible towards their families and society. The foundation was established 118 years ago. As part of activities marking its anniversary this year, the group chose to visit Ghana to learn more about its roots as Africans. This was the first time most of them are visiting Africa. In Cape Coast, they visited the Kakum National Park and other places in the city before finally going to the Cape Coast Castle. The Metropolitan Chief Executive of Cape Coast, Mr. George Justice Arthur, welcomed them to the city and introduced them to the numerous investment opportunities in the region and the 8-year development plan of the Cape Coast Municipal Assembly.
The Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly launched an 8-year development plan last year and currently at the implementation stages. This comprehensive plan set out our strategic priorities for the years ahead, focusing on tourism and creative arts development, urban renewal and infrastructure improvement, sanitation and environmental management, youth and skills development, economic empowerment, and overall community well-being.
In an interview, the president of the foundation, Danette Anthony Reed, indicated that they were now satisfied with knowledge about their origin and proud of their ancestors.
So our goal is service to all mankind. We wanted to make sure we did the service. And then we wanted to learn. And today has been a learning day. We've learned a lot.
The group said while in Ghana, they would be making donations to some women and children's groups and pay the medical bills of others in some hospitals.
We're going to pack 1,000 chip bags. There's Childhood Hunger Initiative Power Packs, where we're going to do rice, tuna, tomato paste, and green backpacks to give to families. Then the other thing we're trying to do is work with one of the hospitals to try to clear out a maternity ward, pay the bills for a maternity ward.
We'll be back shortly with more news. Please stay.
In 1965, Ghana chose her own value. From cowries and pounds, the city was born, our pride in our own hands. It flowed through markets, palms, and memories, and became part of daily life. Through every season of change, the city has remained a constant in Ghanaian life. In 2007, we took a bold step, ushering in a new era of confidence and stability. Today, the city lives in banks, markets, and apps, rooted in tradition, shaped by history, carried by innovation. 60 years on, it remains our heritage, our identity, our pride. Know the city. Keep it clean.
Meet Kwame. He's not just any Kwame. He's Kwame the TV license legend. Kwame knows that by paying his TV license, he's supporting GBC, our public service broadcaster, and he's making a real difference. Kwame's contribution helps bring our communities closer together. Because of Kwame and others like him, we will all have access to amazing TV programs, educational content, plus broadcasting infrastructures are maintained and our culture is beautifully promoted. So GBC is asking all to respond to this civic obligation and pay your TV license fee. For individuals, it's 3 CDs per month or 36 CDs per year. If you have multiple sets, meaning 2 or more in your household, it's 60 CDs per year. For commercial institutions, it's your number of TV sets by 36 CDs per year, and you pay the invoiced amount directly to GBC. So let's all take a moment to appreciate Kwame, the TV license legend. Wherever you are, just dial *447 *333 hash and follow the prompt. It's your civic duty, so pay your TV license today. GBC, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.
Welcome back from the break. This is still News Hour. Let's move on to business news now. The Vehicle and Asset Dealers Union of Ghana has commended the government's performance over the past year, citing progress under its resetting agenda. However, the association noted some challenges, particularly with customs duties. It raised concerns about shipping lines applying exchange rates that differ from those set by the Bank of Ghana, creating difficulties for importers.
Measures to stabilize the cedi against the US dollar have brought relief to businesses, helping them plan more effectively. The Vehicle and Asset Dealers Union of Ghana, VADUC, welcomes recent reductions in duty rates, describing it as a positive step for the industry. But the union's deputy director, Mr. Nanaya Insia, says challenges remain. He pointed to shipping lines using exchange rates that differ from those set by the Bank of Ghana, creating difficulties for importers. Mr. Insia also raised concerns about customs duties currently applied under 3 different categories.
Currently, shipping lines are not using our current Bank of Ghana rate. I don't know the reason. I want to know. So if government should take a critical, all the good things that the government is doing, all the impact that the government is giving to us, the shipping lines are taking it away. That is our main challenge. Honestly speaking, if not the shipping lines, our cost has been dropped by 20 to 30%.
He's calling for a standardized flat rate system, arguing that it will lower cost, strengthen the government's resetting agenda, and make business more predictable.
The custom officer have 3 categories of giving a duty. One, he can reduce it by 20%. He can depreciate it by 30%. He can depreciate it by 50%, based upon your relationship with them. That thing shouldn't be so. So I'm appealing to the government. We should have a flat rate. If everybody is depreciated by 20%, 20% across board. If 30%, 30% across board. If 50%, 50% across board. That one, me personally, I will understand it. But for now, unless you know somebody at the custom before they can give you the lowest rate, it shouldn't be so.
The union is further appealing to the government to ensure containers are processed through the Golden Jubilee Terminal before charges are applied.
Over 1,000 young people in the northern region have been enrolled in a practical skills training program aimed at improving employability and reducing youth unemployment. The initiative, funded by the MasterCard Foundation and implemented by the Design Technology Institute, is designed to equip participants with hands-on skills that meet the demands of today's job market.
Youth unemployment remains a major challenge in the country, largely due to the gap between classroom-based education and the practical experience required by employers. The Design Technology Institute program seeks to bridge this gap by focusing on real-world skills-based training. The beneficiaries are being trained in 4 key areas: welding and fabrication technology, catering and hospitality, software development, and the fashion industry. These sectors were selected because of their high demand and strong potential for job creation and self-employment. Speaking to GBC News in Tamale, the principal at Bukpa Technical Institute, Mariama Mahama, said practical skills development is critical to national development. She encouraged young people to take keen interest in vocational and technical training.
The system is drifting towards what you can do and not what certificates you hold. And thank God that this group of young men and women have taken that decision and they are here to go through the training.
A project member of the Design Technology Institute, George Ajiman, explained that the program is aimed at not only addressing unemployment but also bolstering national productivity through skills acquisition.
Learners that partake in this program get the actual skill and not just theoretical aspect. They are actually trained by industry experts who can give them the experience that they require to be valuable in the world of work.
One of the participants, Selassie Ephraim, said the training has changed his mindset from relying solely on theoretical education to embracing practical skills as a pathway to success.
We must come to a point where we must create opportunities and not wait for opportunities to be created for us. So honestly, I have come to learn a lot and I have been really inspired.
The Ghana Chamber of Mines has called for a fiscal framework that supports mining growth while securing state revenue. In a statement by the Chamber, the framework is needed to ensure Ghanaians benefited sustainably from mineral resources amid high gold prices. The Chamber said it was not opposed to the government's aim of increasing national returns from mining, but warned that proposed amendments to the fiscal regime could restrain investment and limit output expansion and also undermine long-term revenue mobilization. The release stated that the structure of the proposed changes risked discouraging reinvestment by mining firms at a time when higher prices should have supported growth across the value chain. It added that a proposed increase in royalties to a sliding scale of between 5% and 12% on gross revenue could worsen the burden. The performance of the cedi on the interbank market as well as prices of the commodities.
Meet Kwame. He's not just any Kwame. He's Kwame the TV license legend. Kwame knows that by paying his TV license, he's supporting GBC, our public service broadcaster, and he's making a real difference. Kwame's contribution helps bring our communities closer together. Because of Kwame and others like him, we will all have access to amazing TV programs, educational content, plus broadcasting infrastructures are maintained and our culture is beautifully promoted. So GBC is asking all to respond to this civic obligation and pay your TV license fee. For individuals, it's 3 CDs per month or 36 CDs per year. If you have multiple sets, meaning 2 or more in your household, it's 60 CDs per year. For commercial institutions, it's your number of TV sets by 36 CDs per year, and you pay the invoiced amount directly to GBC. So let's all take a moment to appreciate Kwame, the TV license legend. Wherever you are, just dial *447 *333# and follow the prompt. It's your civic duty, so pay your TV license today. GBC, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.
Welcome back. Time for foreign news. Hundreds of people have fled their homes in the Spurong informal settlement near the gold mining town of Randfontein in South Africa. All is quiet in the once bustling community, with few opting to stay on amid relentless violence, intimidation and threats linked to illegal miners operating in the area. The Spurong families are now living in a local community hall in Randfontein, as police say they will step up operations to flush out the illegal miners known as Zamazamas. Illegal mining has been linked to organized crime, assassinations and extortion, leading the government to launch a nationwide crackdown 2 years ago. The South African Human Rights Commission says the Spurong situation reflects a broader and troubling pattern experienced by many mining-affected communities. The clandestine artisanal miners, many from neighboring countries, have become an entrenched presence in the shanty towns that ring Johannesburg and its satellite settlement along the Gold Reef. Engulfed a shopping center in Pakistan has climbed to 67. Police have confirmed. Police say 77 people are currently reported as missing by their families following the fire at the Gul Plaza in Pakistan's largest city, Karachi, on Saturday evening. But the scale of the damage following the blaze, which took more than 24 hours to put out, has slowed rescue efforts as authorities comb the remains of the 6,500 square meter complex. While some of the bodies found are only partial remains, authorities had been able to count 67 skulls. The process to identify the bodies continues, with 15 people identified so far. The cause of the fire is still unknown. Witnesses earlier told the BBC that a lack of working fire exits and the density of shoppers and stalls crammed into the building exacerbated the disaster. Now to sports news. Ghana has officially named a strong 10-member national team to represent the country at the 46th World Chess Olympiad, scheduled to take place in Uzbekistan this year.
The team is made up of the nation's top 5 male players and top 5 female players, selected based on performances, rankings, consistency in national and international competitions, and overall readiness to compete at the highest level of world chess. According to Ghana Chess Association, the selection reflects a balanced blend of experience and emerging talent, with players who have consistently dominated the local chess scene, improving themselves on the continental stage. The goal, officials say, is not just participation, but making a strong impression against the world's best. The president of Ghana Chess is Mr. Philip Elikem Ameku.
We had 3 members of the previous national team maintaining their spots. So that means experience. And we have 2 new and very versatile players. And they have local experience, but we are looking forward to unleashing them. And that will give us that surprise element. And the system that we are using, we use top 5 rated, that's the established players, coming up against the current form. And then they come together and then they fight it out. So I believe this is the best thing we can produce for Ghana.
The men's team features Ghana's highest rated players known for their tactical discipline, opening depth and competitive experience in international tournaments. They are candidate Master Bernard Henry, Akpa Prince, Field Master John Hashford, candidate Master Femovo, Cephas Clinton, and Loglo Daniel. On the women's side, the selected players represent the very best of Ghanaian chess, having led the growth of the women's game through strong domestic performances and regional success. They are woman candidate Master Maud Benton, 10-year-old sensation Widham Singha, woman candidate Master Gertrude Banini, Duche Jijo AC, and Duche Sumia Ibrahim. Some of the players said they will intensify preparations.
The field was very, very tough, so even though you've prepared, others have also prepared, but I feel like with God's help, and then I also did well myself to get this trophy, so I feel like I've earned it, and so yeah, that's all I can say. This was like my only chance of getting the youth. The following year, I don't meet the requirements, so it was do or die for me, So I feel like next year, God willing, I would have to put in much effort because I'll be in the open phase, so to qualify, that's my goal. And for the youth who are also going to be playing, I feel like there are lots of potential and they are going to do so well. So the next champion will be as worthy as I am because the kids are good. So.
I'm just calm. Sometimes it's not about the destination. Sometimes the journey also matters. So looking at the journey about 6-7 years now, finally making the Olympia team, getting second place, I think I'm just calm. But at the end of the day, I think I'm still excited deep down. When you start to think of it in a way that you are playing for like the 25 to 30 million people, you start to realize that it's just beyond you, and then it gives you more motivation. And also we have a few months to train. So I think this year, the Olympia team, we should do better than last year at the very least. If not, get people to get more titles and come back to Ghana as titled players.
Yeah, attacks in the last game were more stronger than the ones in the other previous games. I just said them to play chess.
The World Chess Olympiad is the biggest team event on the global chess calendar, bringing together nations from around the world. For Ghana, the Samarkand 2026 edition represents another important step in its quest to establish a stronger presence on the global chess stage.
The Ghana Olympians Association, GOA, in collaboration with the Ghana Olympic Committee, GOC, and the Athletes Commission have organized a one-day career transition and mentoring workshop. It was on the theme, "The End is Really the Beginning," at the Media Center of the Accra Sports Stadium.
When I think about what we covered today, these are things I wish somebody had told me or had been exposed to coming up. And too often, athletes give a lot for the country and for their federations. And I think this is the least we can do in terms of helping them think about the life after sports and helping them start to prepare for that, so that when they do hit that point, the transition is smoother and they are not bitter, especially when they feel like they gave so much. And in some cases, they even feel like so much was taken from them. And so this was absolutely worth it. Too often we get caught up in the short-term benefits and what we can get out of it versus thinking long-term, which is what we are trying to get them to think about. I do want to say, though, that the Ghana Olympic Committee has really been extremely supportive. Under Mr. Pokavi, he's a very athlete-focused person, and so he's been insistent that something like this actually happens to benefit athletes. And so I think for those of us in the Ghana Olympians Association, we feel like this is service back to the athletes and helping them understand that they have access to a much broader network than they often think about.
If you look at the whole interactive atmosphere, even after the event was over, even during the break, they were coming to us asking questions and even seeking more guidance, from judo to taekwondo to rugby. Everybody was asking questions, and I think that this is just a start, right? And from the GOC president's statement, he said that he's hoping that we can even do this more than once a year going forward so that we can bring in more. They were even asking for the PowerPoint presentations that we use so that they can take back. So that tells you that we sowed the seed for them to take back and help others.
Well, before we take leave of you, let's touch base with Arise Ghana, who are on day 5 of picketing at the American Embassy in Accra. The group has presented a petition to officials of the United States Embassy in Accra calling for assistance in extraditing former Finance Minister Ken Nana-Ofori-Atta to answer questions over his stewardship of the economy between 2017 and 2024. The group, led by its convener, Bernard Mona, cited the long-standing diplomatic and bilateral relations between Ghana and the United States, arguing that cooperation on the matter would strengthen accountability and good governance. GBC News' Daryl Lantego was at the U.S. Embassy and filed this report.
You're welcome to the U.S. Embassy. This is day 5 of the Arise Ghana Bring Back Ken picketing of the United States Embassy. The pressure group intends, as part of its plans, to put pressure not only on the U.S. Embassy but also on the government of Ghana to expedite the extradition of Ken Ofori-Atta, the former finance minister, to account for his stewardship at the time he was in charge of Ghana's finances. I am going to be speaking to some of the leaders of the campaign to find out indeed what happens after, because today they have made clear their intention to submit a petition to the government of the United States through the embassy to ensure that Ken Ofori-Atta is brought to Ghana. Let me go and speak to Bernard Mona. Good morning, Bernard.
Morning, sir.
Bernard, many had said that this is one of the facades Arise Ghana puts out there in times like this. Is this a facade?
Certainly, we are eye-red to see the return of Ken Ofori-Atta to account for his stewardship as former Minister of Finance.
If you say his stewardship, what exactly is he coming to account for?
For the theft of public money for personal use. Ken Ofori-Atta, by every standard, is wanted in Ghana for many criminal charges. And because Ken himself knows that a day like this will come, his personal investment in Data Bank, he has liquidated them and offloaded them. His investment in enterprise insurance, he has liquidated them. His investment in transitions, he has liquidated them. What it means is that Ken himself has been aware of the wrongs that he has done for this nation, and he has thought that a day like this he will run away and that the United States will provide him an abode for him.
Through very reliable sources, we hear Ken has apprehensions in returning, especially because of some of these things you are doing. He finds it difficult to show face because when he turns out, some of you will witch hunt him. Is that what you will do?
I have no power of witch hunt, but Ken is no alien to protestations. When he introduced the electronic transfer levies, we protested to the Ministry of Finance. Ken himself has been part and parcel of protestations to the presidency when he joined the Occupy Ghana movement, and they occupied the Flagstaff House. So the man who himself has participated and manifested in protestation cannot say that ordinary picketing can become a source of fear for him. That is hypocrisy.
Well, those were scenes from the U.S. Embassy in Accra, where members of the pressure group Arise Ghana presented a petition to the embassy demanding that former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta be brought back into the country. Well, that's how we end the bulletin this afternoon. There's more news at gbcghanaonline.com. Thanks for staying tuned. My name is Doreen Ampofo. Enjoy your weekend.
In 1965, Ghana chose her own value. From cowries and pounds, the city was born. Our pride in our own hands. It flowed through markets, palms, and memories, and became part of daily life. Through every season of change, the city has remained a constant in Ghanaian life. In 2007, we took a bold step, ushering in a new era of confidence and stability. Today, the city lives in banks, markets,